Live for a second, recorded live from the Albemarle Charlottesville Regional Jail. This is an uncensored and mostly unscripted entertainment program and they're largely based on true stories. You are a special kind of idiot if you try this at home. We are professionals, folks. And speaking of we, my name is Christopher Cantwell, a.k.a. inmate number 631424, and I am joined today by a man who I'm happy to report likes the inmate number, Mr. Jared Howe. Good to be with you on this Saturday, November 11, 2017. Many of you are hearing this on the RSS feeds for Radical Agenda, and as soon as I get out of this damn jail, I'll be happy to get to that phones. That show's open phone format. I keep on screwing that up.
Yeah,
I'm such a talentless hack. I'll get back to that show's open phone format, but until then, I thought it might be wise to rebrand a little bit so as to avoid any future confusion. And speaking of me getting out of this jail, it's going to happen one of these days, ladies and gentlemen. I've been telling you before to go over to GoFundMe.com, not to be confused with that tight shit GoFundMe. I'm talking about Goy, G-O-Y, fundme.com, and participate, donate, rather, I should say, to the 1433 Rescue Fund. Well, I got to tell you, I don't really need much of rescuing anymore. I think it's my opponents. I think it's my enemies that are going to need a rescue. We are now in pursuit of justice, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We've updated it. It's no longer the 1433 Rescue Fund. It's the 1433 Justice Fund, and not of the social variety, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking for justice of the antisocial, the most antisocial of varieties. And it is time for us to go, shall we say, on the offensive. You know, and those of you who are listening to the Radical Agenda, you know, Cantwell on the offensive? No, never. We could never imagine such a thing. But yeah, so basically, what's going on here? Well, first thing, so let me clarify something first. Jared, what is as of this moment? What is the most recently published episode number of Live from Seg?
The most recently published episode is episode 20. From the night you called me after the...
Okay, so this is going to be episode number 22, and depending on when you are listening to this, maybe you're like listening to this as like a premium member sometime down the road and everything's in order, but if you're listening to this like immediately after it's released, you're like, where's that missing episode number 21? And I just want to clarify, like, we had a conversation last night where, shall we say, you know, your humble correspondent here, I know this is going to sound out of character, but I lost my composure last night, okay? And so I said some things that, like, about my case and stuff that I probably shouldn't put out there, at least not yet. My attorney would be furious if I had released that episode, so we're going to hold on to it for a little while. Suffice to say, Robert Tracy, T-R-A-C-I-I, the prosecutor in my case, is behaving like an obsessed and disaffected fan, and I don't like him very much. But I should probably not savage him on a podcast in public. Now, of course, Mr. Tracy's listening to this right now, and he probably isn't even listening to this yet. He's like, wait a second, where's episode 21? And then he's going to go through the jail recordings. Because he's an obsessed fan. He listens to every episode of the show, and it's hilarious, right? So, you know, I don't care that, you know, he's going to feel insulted or whatever like that. But I don't want to be publicly savaging him on this show until a couple of things are dealt with. So
sure.
Go ahead, enjoy the bonus episode, Mr. Tracy. I'll see you in court, okay? But the you know, we had a bunch of things coming up. Okay, the idea being, look, ladies and gentlemen, as you might have gathered from episode 20, I would never have seen the inside of this jail if Christopher Goad had not lied. I would never have been charged if Emily Gorsensky had not, at the very least, misled investigators, right? You could argue whether or not it was a flat-out lie. No, you couldn't. She lied, right? This transgender, her fucking entire life is a lie. I'm calling her like she doesn't have a dick. Jesus Christ. So this fucking savage, these stupid degenerates, they lied, okay? And if they hadn't lied, I never would have seen the inside of this jail, okay? And even if you say that I'm basically at this point, but the two charges where I hurt Emily or Goad, both have been dropped now. And now it's basically, they're saying that, you know, me pepper spraying this guy that we've been referring to as Beanie Man is as if I had pulled the pin on a tear gas grenade and thrown it into a crowd, which is obviously not what happened. Basically, you know, I pepper sprayed this guy in self-defense, and as the prosecutor's putting it, it's like me and my fucking panic state because I don't pepper spray people frequently, like sprayed upwards or something like that, and like went in for a second time or something. And they're acting like this is like a careless, indiscriminate dispersal of gases, which is complete nonsense. So, you know, he has to try to basically convince a jury that self-defense doesn't exist for, you know, what he's going to try to convince them are Nazis, right? And that's going to be, I think he's going to have a really good time doing that. but he's going to fail miserably.
I think that they're already worried about it. Korchinski's on Twitter talking about how Beanie Man never charged you this, that, the other thing, and it's like, shut the fuck up, faggot. There's video. We can see him charging Cantwell. So yeah.
Well, here's the other thing that came out in court too, is that they know who Beanie Man is, and Beanie Man doesn't want to come forward. Okay, so that means that he is some kind of he's some kind of commissar. I've heard he's some kind of activist out of Philadelphia. Okay. And, I would not be surprised. What Tracy absolutely wants is for Beanie Man to come in and be an accuser, become a victim, right? But he knows that he's not a victim because he attacked Tank Top, all right? So what he's doing is he's hiding his identity, whether it's because he's some kind of Soros employee or because he's got charges against him or whatever it is. Whatever it is about this guy, he doesn't want to come forward, and not for lack of prompting by the prosecutor and the tranny, okay? So wherever he is, he's hiding, and he might come out before this is over. Who knows? But I don't care because he's a criminal, and I know it, and there's video evidence of it. And so, go ahead and take me to trial on that if that's what you want. In any case, if Goad had not lied, here's the important operative part. If Goad had not lied and had not been supported by Mr. Tracy, then I would have never seen the inside of this jail. If I had never seen the inside of this jail, if I had never been told that Mr. Goad had fucking accused me of a crime, then I never would have said gassing tykes and trannies on the podcast with Enoch, and thus I never would have seen the inside of the jail. At the worst case scenario, I would have been charged with unlawful release of tear gas. And that would have been something that I could have dealt with, but I never would have been held without bail. So there are going to be lawsuits going forward. And basically, what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I want to get litigious. All right, this is what happens. I'm being sued. I'm the subject of at least one civil lawsuit. I've been heard rumors of another one, but I haven't been served with that one yet. And I'm sure there's going to be others later. Okay, here's what happens with our enemies. They run around and they just use the force of government against everybody, whether there's merit to it or not. What we have done is the exact opposite. We are given ample opportunity to use the state against our rivals, and we don't do it because it's like we feel like, I don't know, we can handle our own problems or whatever. We try to be, high agency white people who deal with our issues, like civilized human beings, while these Jew fucks run around suing everybody and using the state, which they have just repudiated, against everybody who disagrees with them. Well, guess what? It is time for us to start bringing the misery that government intervention brings upon our fucking rivals. And so what I'm asking you to do is go over to GoFundMe.com and contribute to what I'm now calling the 1433 Justice Fund. It's probably the same link. We just updated the name, and we've updated the funding goal to $75,000 by January 1st. We had it as, $25,000 by November 9th because that was my court date, and we were hoping to get this thing taken care of. $75,000 is not based on any particular data point, similar to the 08 Obama, or the 09 Obama stimulus, whatever. It's not based on a particular data point. We just wanted a really big number, okay? And yeah, I'm going to enjoy that money, and I'll do whatever the hell I want with it. I'm not telling you that it's strictly going to go to lawsuits. But I want to have a war chest to sue everyone who screws around with me at this point, okay? You want to live vicariously through your humble correspondent here? You want to see me go and bring suffering to the people who have been screwing us for years, decades, centuries? Well, this is the time to do it. So go over to 1433 Justice Fund on GoFundMe.com. And, of course, if you want to just support this production on a regular basis, Patreon, not to be confused with that kike out, but Patreon, the Radical Agenda, Christopher Cantwell, you can just put in a monthly sponsorship there so that goes into my account every month, and I can do whatever I want with that. And, of course, I accept Bitcoin and whatnot, ChristopherCantwell.com/donate. And I'm still in this jail at this point, so if you want to, I don't know, we'll talk about commissary another day. I might be out of here soon. We're going to go for a bail hearing soon. I think we're going to anyway. I told my attorney I'm not going to bother him until Wednesday. But I know the media has been speculating that he put in for a bond hearing first thing Monday, so maybe that'll happen. I'm told that Mr. Tracy's going to fight that tooth and nail because he's going to say that I'm a flight risk, but he knows that that's not true. He's just trying to extract whatever toll he can from me because he knows that he's going to lose. It's the same thing. Like DeSantis said that I was a fucking menace to society, that I was really dangerous, right? Which is complete bullshit, and he knows it. Which is why the jail put me in with a fucking Jewish child pornographer. Like if you think that we're just such menaces to society, you would not do that unless you were trying to get these people hurt, right? So they put us all in here with the dregs of society, and are basically like, yeah, go ahead, kill them because that's what we want. At least then you'll actually commit a crime that we can actually prosecute you for. And I'm certainly not a flight risk. I mean, I'm a public figure. I have no reason to run from anybody. It's not like I could go back to New Hampshire and escape the justice of the state of Virginia. So everybody in New Hampshire knows who I am, right? So, like, you know. By the way, you know, Mr. Tracy, why don't you go? I mean, you already heard me say this because you already went through the recording that I haven't released yet. Why don't you go contact Steve Penny of the Keene Police Department? Go contact Phil Christiana, the Boston Field Office of the FBI's Joint Terrorist Task Force. Go ask them. I've been thoroughly investigated, man. If you really think I'm such a menace to society, go ahead and ask these people about it before you come into a courtroom and say that you're convinced that I'm the second coming of fucking Adolf Hitler. You go ahead, try that. And then when you do, and after you do that, and you continue to maliciously prosecute me, see how well that works out for you, pal. Okay? Because everybody knows that it has nothing to do with flight risk, and it has nothing to do with me being a threat to public safety, and everything to do with the fact that you're a social justice warrior who's looking for a problem. Well, you know what? You're going to find one, pal. So what else is going on there, Jared?
Looking at the news, and I just think it's funny that your story hasn't had any national syndication. It's only the local papers in Charlottesville that have picked this up, and geez, I wonder why. Maybe it's because they staked their reputations on making it seem like you were this guilty Nazi person who, you know, why would it even go to trial? What's there even a debate?
Narrative collapse is not something that these people want to spread, right? So, like, you know, I've been saying since I came in here that my accusers are lying, and then they got laughed out of a courtroom, rightly, that they couldn't even go, you know, the standard of evidence in a preliminary hearing is preponderance of the evidence. It's a probable cause hearing. And so, you know, I should not even be arrested without probable cause, much less held in jail for 79 days, okay? They could not establish probable cause in a courtroom after me being here for almost 80 days, all right? So this does not bode well for the kike media who's been savaging my reputation on the outside as if I'm some kind of monster who runs around attacking kikes and trannies for kicks. You know, I do verbally, of course, but
right.
You know, not. I don't run around pepper spraying strangers for my own fucking entertainment. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd enjoy it if I could. Like if you legalize kike and tranny hunting, like go. You know, I would do it, but they didn't do that yet, and I'm a law-abiding citizen, and Mr. Tracy knows that. So.
Well, I was listening to Mike Enoch talk about it, and he says that he's not entirely optimistic that we could prevail in suing the city of Charlottesville or these Antifa degenerates. But I don't know. I don't want to say even if we don't, even if there's no chance that you do, I think it's worth trying, and I think that people should donate to your justice fund because if you do prevail, like what's the precedent you're going to set for these people? They're going to think twice before they try to do this to somebody else.
First of all, even if we lose, it's worth suing them. Okay.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, the people who are suing me have no expectation of winning whatsoever. The lawsuit against me is so ridiculously frivolous, it's obnoxious. Okay. And what you have is a bunch of left-wing attorneys who are like, we're going to harass these people in civil court. And I'll tell you what, if you don't think that is what is destroying your country right now, frivolous lawsuits, then you're out of your mind, okay? The fact of the matter is, these people are suing me because they can, all right? And they sue other companies because they can. And companies go out of their way to appease fucking communists because communists can sue them, right? And here's the other thing about it, all right? Here's what everybody doesn't understand about the justice system until they are unfortunate enough to get caught up in it, all right? There is no such thing as rule of law in America anymore. Okay, it's not like you go into a courtroom and the outcome is determined by a set of pre-established rules and facts. That is not how things work. Your entire government is a combination of human beings acting out whatever behaviors they see fit to act out. All right? Well, and so when you've got Jews and Negroes and Islamists and all sorts of fucking degenerates in your justice system, then what you have is a bunch of Jews and Negroes and degenerates asking for favors and getting them. All right? And so the fact of the matter is, there's no certainty in any justice system. It doesn't matter if we are right or if we are wrong. We might lose even if we had everything going for us just because some kike is the judge, you know?
I've got a comment about that, but we're going to get cut off if you want to give me a call
right back. Let me call you right back.
Hey, and it's not just that they're, you know, doing favors for each other and doing whatever the fuck they want. They got, like, their scripts down. They know what they have to get onto the record. So the entire thing is like calling up a fucking telemarketer who's just trying to like get you to say yes and okay at the right times. Like they're trying to fuck you over without your knowledge. They're trying to make sure that you can't appeal their errors, and they're trying to railroad you. And that's what you're right. And it's not just Charlottesville; it's fucking every court in this country. Some of them are worse than others, but Charlottesville appears to be particularly bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, and this is on the yet to be released prior recording, is that I'll say I was really impressed when I stopped to think about it. What happened in my case? Okay, in my preliminary hearing, the judge was actually pretty wise in my opinion, because what he did was by my estimation, like strictly adherence to rule of law. Okay, there was no evidence to be had that I did anything to Emily or to Christopher Goad. Okay, there was absolutely unrefuted. I don't dispute that I sprayed pepper spray. Right. So the thing is that, like, the standard of evidence, like I said, is a preliminary hearing is preponderance of the evidence. Is it more likely than not that something happened? Right. Well, since there's no evidence whatsoever that I did anything to Goad or Gorsenski, he'd throw those two cases out. But in the case that I unlawfully released tear gas, which is now maliciously, which is obnoxious, he certified the case. He said whether he did this justifiably or maliciously is a matter for the trier of fact, as they call it. So that's like a jury trial or whatever. So that goes to the circuit court, and we'll have to deal with that there, where I will defeat it because it's ridiculous. But there is some rule of law left, and that is what they are trying to stamp out. And that's why the Virginia election, really everything that just happened in the previous election is so fucking bad. It was this huge windfall for the Dems, right? And you even had in Virginia, for Christ's sake, they elected a fucking tranny to their state house. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you? They replaced like a staunch social conservative with a transgender fucking fanatic. Okay, sorry for the F, but that's bad. And so these people now they get to pick judges and shit. And once that, people don't understand, right? Like I've had this argument with Enoch and several other people that if the Republican Party does X, Y, and Z, then I'm not going to vote, or I'm going to vote for somebody else or a third party or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you cannot allow the Democrats to take control of anything. I don't care how bad the Republican is. Once the left starts picking judges, I mean, everything gets absolutely horrible.
No, we see that. We see that with the immigration. We see that with the immigration thing, right? All the fucking judges that Obama put in there are blocking the Muslim bans. This, that, the other thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. They say these people are literally saying the president of the United States can't protect the borders of the country during wartime because he's a racist. That's what happens when Democrats take control of things, and I don't give a shit. Like you want to go fight the Republicans, do it during the primary, retard. That's what the primary is for. And then this is the thing, and like you think that you're being edgy, like you're going to be like independent, like I'm an ideologue before I'm a Republican. Guess what? Let me tell you what. You want to scare your enemies? Be a Republican first. Be a Republican first. And then you're like, people are like, oh, well, like you're an edgy libertarian or whatever. I'm going to vote for the Libertarian Party. I'm going to vote for the Constitution Party because I'm a right-wing extremist. No, you're an impotent faggot who's going to accomplish nothing. Go join the Republican Party and go vanquish the likes of Mitch McConnell and then use the full force of the Republican Party to stomp your enemies into the fucking political dirt. Sorry for the F. That is a way for you to be feared.
We need to turn the Republican Party explicitly alt-right. That's what needs to happen.
Because this is what happened with the Dems, right? You think the Democrat, how did the Democratic Party get a tranny into the legislature in Virginia? Was it because the extremists were like, I'm going to vote green? No, it's because they took Saul Alinsky's fucking advice and cut their hair and joined the party.
Yeah, and capitulating to them and doing the centrist shit and say, we're too good for identity politics. Well, identity politics are not too fucking good for you, white people. So, get your act together, get with the Republican Party, and understand that the Democrats are drifting further and further communist every single day. There's no marketing strategy to be had as a right-winger trying to recruit centrists and shit like that by... I'm going to try to make myself appear reasonable and not racist, and I'm going to denounce fascism and disavow the alt-right. No, faggot, that's not going to fucking work for you. It's going to make you look like a cuck, and you're going to lose.
Yeah, it was hilarious yesterday on the front page of the Washington Post Metro section. There's this columnist, Petula Dvorak. is like a terrible fucking communist. And she writes a piece titled, I haven't even read the piece yet, she says, "Election outcome, hate won't win," or something to that effect, right? Which is the funniest thing in the world, because the Dems ran the most hateful campaign in the world. It's literally, the Republicans want to run down your brown children, you know? The white people are going to murder your babies is literally the fucking campaign that these savages ran. And they're calling that, you know, prevailing against hate. And then directly below the fold is a picture of a bunch of brown-skinned women screaming at the top of their lungs outside, and it says DACA recipients unafraid storm the Capitol. Right?
Whoa.
So a bunch of fucking black-fisted brown savages want to go storm the Capitol, and that's how you defeat hate. You know, because that's what they define basically white people sticking up for themselves as these days.
I think they should do it. I think they should do it.
That?
I think they should do it. Take a shot at it. Storm the Capitol. See what happens.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's so funny to me, these people, and it's like, the whole thing is just complete narrative collapse. They're losing their fucking mind. I've never seen anything like this, right? They're just completely blinded by ideology. They're worse than the libertarians ever was, right? Like,
for sure.
They have no concept, and like, you know, the people. I can't imagine what it's got to be like for somebody who just reads the Washington Post and thinks that it's news, right? Like, I read the Washington Post now as comic relief. It's the funniest thing in the world. Every time I pick it up, it's like, okay, fine, like, it'll tell me what the stories are, and I'll get a fact or two about it. But like, like I said before, the print edition of it is even worse than their website. There's literally not a single conservative voice in there, and it's just it's complete. I feel like I'm reading Salon.
Well,
and they're so completely detached.
And they're all like that, from CNN, even the broadcast media too, CNN, NBC, ABC, whatever the other one is. But I remember for like the longest time, for all the Bush years, the Clinton years even, and even through the Obama years, I always just wished, I wish somebody would come along and crush 6, 8, and 13 on TV. I wish someone would come along and crush the New York Times, because they just parrot each other. They just mirror each other. And now we have that with Donald Trump. And you see the degree to which the left was dependent on this narrative. And you're right, the narrative collapse is driving them crazy. And you're witnessing them just fold on themselves in real time.
Yeah, they're falling apart. It's like they're having a goddamn nervous breakdown. You know, the cognitive dissonance is just tearing them apart inside. Here's a fun one. Did you hear that RT registered as a foreign agent?
I did not. No.
Okay. Which is like an appropriate thing, I guess. I mean, they're state-run media from Russia. If you're going to say, hey, we have a, you know, if you're a foreign agent in this country, you have to register or whatever, and they are, in fact, taxpayer subsidized by the Russian government. Okay. But you know what's really interesting to me? Like, when are we going to see fucking ABC, NBC, CNN, and even Fox register as foreign agents of Israel?
Well, they should. They should be forced to, or they should have their broadcast licenses pulled, Goy, as Donald Trump said that one time on Twitter. I think that'd be a really good thing. Although we are seeing I think the Podesta group is going back now, and they're getting in trouble for not registering as lobbyists for a foreign agent for that whole Russia thing, and I'm very, very happy to see that. Although, you know, you always have to kind of wonder whether anybody's ever going to get in trouble from that whole scene. It seems like a dog and pony show.
We can be quite certain that they won't get in nearly as much trouble as they deserve, at least, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Manafort's been indicted. You can see maybe a couple other people get indicted from the other side, but it's going to be like, you know, okay, you know, here's your sacrificial lamb or whatever, right? But there's never going to be, you know, this powerful person spends the rest of their life in prison, or better yet, like, gets what they really deserve, like raped to death on fucking national television. You know?
Or hung, like they did with Saddam, right? Where they hung that guy. I mean, these people deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, I don't know. I don't want Hillary Clinton to get hung. I'm being serious when I say she should get raped to death in a cage on television, but, like, you know, it's better than letting her live, I guess.
I remember the rant you had last year from around election time where you were hoping that she would get dragged through the streets while people throw piss and shit at her. I think that would be fitting, and I would pay money to see that.
Yeah, exactly. Just give her the old you know, the Game of Thrones walk of shame there.
You go.
You know?
Yeah.
And then just kill her at the end of it. You know?
Hey, did you hear about what's this guy's name? Moore?
I want to make it clear that I'm not Martin Shkreli. I'm not offering to pay you to do this, by the way. So don't arrest me. Okay?
Oh yeah, you don't want to end up in jail in New York. Yeah. But did you hear about this situation with what's his name, Roy Moore? Is that his name?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because it's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Okay?
It is pretty funny. I was thinking, I was like, dude, Chris is gonna fucking love this. But yeah.
Well, let me before we even get into Roy Moore, let's do this. You hear about Louis C.K. also?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Now, are you familiar with Louis C.K.?
I know. Yeah, I've seen a few of his stand-up specials. I fucking hate the guy. I put on his newest one a month ago, and it starts out with anti-white abortion jokes, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking kike. You know what I mean? But then this shit.
Right. I haven't listened to him in a while. Like I used to like him. He was on the Opie and Anthony show a lot, and now like you're saying that to me, and I'm like, yeah, I probably do hate him.
Well, the older stuff, his older stuff's not too bad, right? Because it doesn't get into that territory. But in 2017, him as part of the Jewish left, you can imagine where his material's gonna go, right?
Oh God. Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we can hope that he fucking, dies slowly and painfully. But, I still think it's funny that people are accusing him of being a pervert because what I find more funny is that he's denying it, right? Like I heard the accusation that he touched himself while he was on the phone with a woman and she didn't like it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's just going to confess to this. I'm pretty sure he's confessed to a lot worse on the Opie and Anthony show, right? It's like, yeah, I'm a dirty comic and I touch my penis. I don't care if you're happy. But that's I don't know. That's all I really want to say about him. But the Roy Moore thing.
It says he's saying it's all true now. Louis C.K. admits to sexual misconduct. So, from what I understand, it's kind of like a Harvey.
He did admit to it.
Yeah, I guess he jerked off in front of some girls or something. I didn't look into it too hard, but that's.
Is he apologizing?
Yeah, he's sorry, and apparently.
Oh, what a loser! All right, now I really hate him. He should have come out and been like, yeah, I masturbated in front of these women and it made them uncomfortable, which is why I did it in the first place. I enjoy that sort of thing. That's what Louis C.K. should have done, because that is exactly the truth of the matter. He is not sorry. He's lying, and I have lost even more respect for him than I had when I realized that he was a white-hating Jew.
What's up with all these Jews and their like depraved sex things? Like, why can't you just like fuck a woman, dude? Like, you can't just bring her to bed. You gotta like jerk off into a potted plant or something, or take a shower in front. Like, I don't fucking get this at all. It's weird fetishes that they have. It's like I don't want to have sex with him. Go away. I just want you to watch me jerk off. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, I think what's happening is that they want to have sex with women who don't want to have sex with them, so they're touching their dicks instead.
Yeah, there you go.
and you know what? If I'm honest with you, I used to be 265 pounds. I can relate. So anyway, enough of that fucking Jewy bullshit. I'm free of that nonsense now.
So Roy Moore.
On to Roy Moore. Roy Moore was accused of all these sexual harassment and sexual misconduct things, and instead of cucking like every other stupid piece of shit out there, he says, this is the left out to get me. Pay me. Which is exactly how you should deal with these things. The only problem I have is that he's denying it, frankly. Like, well, here's the one thing. As I read in yesterday's Washington Post, that only one of these things is even claiming to be illegal, and it's from 1979. So some asshole says that she was 14 years old when Roy Moore brought her back to his house and like touched her through her underwear and had her touch him through his underwear. And that is illegal because he was 32 at the time and she was 14 years old. Everything else is completely legal. As a matter of fact, one of these girls said, what would I tell you if Roy Moore wanted to date me or whatever? And she was like 16, and the mother was like, that would be fantastic. He's husband material. Okay?
1 minute remaining.
So literally all of these things were completely legal. One of them even had the mother's blessing and didn't even go beyond kissing. And he's denying it. I think that what he should do is be like, everything that's legal, I did, and you're a bunch of degenerates for prying into my fucking sex life, 3 decades ago. Let me call you back when you get cut off.
All right. So I guess Jack Prosobiec, I don't know, some alt-right-ish character on Twitter doxed his accuser. Roy Moore's accuser here.
Doxed one of Moore's accusers?
Yeah, and now there are Republican lawmakers calling for her prosecution. I don't think everybody quite buys this story. The funny...
Nobody should buy this story. It's complete... Look, here's the thing. I don't care if... First of all, I don't care if it is true. Like, if you're somebody who comes out and does this at this time after it's been so long, you're a piece of shit. Okay, lady? You are an ill-intentioned piece of garbage who is motivated by politics, and there's no other reason that you would do this. I heard one of them, maybe this is the one that got doxxed, was like a sign language interpreter for the Hillary Clinton campaign. Is that the one?
I'm not sure. I hadn't heard that detail.
I heard that just like blurted out on Fox News earlier. These people are doing this for the only possible reason they could be coming out with this now is political motivations, right? This happened in 1979. All these stories are before 1980. Okay, so now in 2017 they're going to come out and they'll be like, Roy Moore wanted to date me and my mother was okay with it and we went out and had ice cream.
Yeah.
It's literally what they're saying in the Washington Post. And Mitch McConnell, who just spent millions of dollars trying to defeat this guy in a primary with the help of the President of the United States and still lost, is shockingly enough jumping on board with these stupid cunts and turning around and saying, oh, yeah, well, if it's true that he should step aside. And John McCain is like, I don't even care if it's true. The mere fact that he was accused of sexual misconduct in 1979 means that he should get the hell out of here. Can somebody, please, go back, find somebody who was born a year before me and go and accuse John McCain of sexual misconduct so that he will leave the United States Senate.
you know who else is calling for him to step down?
Who's that?
Ben Shapiro. Josh.
Ben Shapiro? Oh, my God. Well, Ben Shapiro would never lie about somebody. It's not like he's in the habit of smearing people's reputations. I mean, oh, wait a second, that's right. That's why he left Breitbart.
It is why he left Breitbart. The funniest fucking thing about this whole Roy Moore thing is what he said after he was accused of it, and it didn't really have anything to do with the accusations, but the media got pretty upset about it anyway, and what he said was something to the effect of how transsexuals either don't have rights or shouldn't have rights. These people don't have rights.
Transgenders should not have oxygen. I don't know what's controversial about denying them rights. What is he talking about?
Well, yeah, there we go. Yeah, but no, I thought that was great. And that's the type of shit you need to do, like whether he said it or not. Somebody's going to fucking accuse you of some shit that's not true to try to tank you. So yeah, say, fuck you, I'm not even going to acknowledge this, and by the way, trannies shouldn't have rights.
Yeah. The funny thing to me is like kikes basically what they do is they accuse you, they say something completely unsurprising in an accusatory tone, and white males turn around and they're like, I'm being accused of something. Oops. And they rush to try to make up for it.
Right.
And it's like, no, what they accused you of was being a white male. What they accused you of is observing the goddamn world around you. Calm the fuck down, pal. It's like we're too damn cooperative. We're like, oh my God, somebody is unhappy with me. How do I please them? It's like, stop being a fucking slave, dude.
Yeah, learn how to
help you.
Learn how to agree and amplify. Learn how to troll them. Learn how to get a rise out of them. They'll discredit themselves by making it obvious that they don't understand things like basic humor when it comes down to it. If they want to smear somebody, they're going to pretend to not understand what a joke is. They're going to pretend to not understand, what nuance is, and they're going to say, oh, this is the worst person in the world. And you have experience with this, Chris. If they can take you, if they can take you out of context, they're going to do that. And they're not listening to your arguments. They're just looking for a soundbite that they can use against you.
Can you imagine if I had cucked, right? What I decided to do, look, I don't want to pull the curtain back too far or whatever, but it might be repetitive to some people. I got into this racial stuff, by accident, right? I wasn't, it was literally somebody called me a racist, and I was like, I doubt the merits of your accusation. You know what I'm saying? And everybody just kept on accusing me of stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. Yes, I'm a racist. Now make a point. And nobody did. And now here I am, all over the pages of your newspapers and your national news. Somebody was reading to me my Wikipedia page before. I didn't have one before, right? I finally have a Wikipedia page, that is not being deleted for lack of notoriety. And I've been an activist since 2009. Right? I've been writing and podcasting for years, and it's only as a result of these people calling me the crying Nazi that I finally gained the goddamn recognition that I deserved all of this time, right? But if imagine they turn around and be like, I'm sorry. Remember, those of you who've been following around for a while, can you imagine if when Free Talk Live asked me to apologize, I did? What loser I'd be? How shitty this nobody would be listening to me. I would have had to get a real job by now if I had apologized. You know,
you might still be
and stay on Free Talk Live and beg for money. Fuck you.
You might still be overweight. You might never have gotten your life together. Lots of other things never would have happened
exactly.
either.
I'd be fat and drunk and probably dead of cirrhosis by this point if I had cucked.
Yeah. But that's what they want, right? So it starts with you cucking and it ends with them ruining your life, because that's how all Kafka traps work.
And this is really this is one of the things that really makes me feel good about this. Like, especially I've gotten letters since I've been in here. I want to say, I want to apologize to everybody I haven't written back to. I've complained before about the writing instruments that they give us in here, but I hate handwriting anyway. My handwriting sucks, and a whole bunch of other reasons. But people have written me letters in here about me being an inspiration to them and stuff like this, and I find it so hilarious because in my mind I'm still 265 pounds and drunk every day, right? And so I think I'm a piece of garbage, and other people you caused me to sober up, you caused me to get in shape, you caused it up, and I'm like, wow, it's a nice thing to have been able to do that, and I had to, and it was the same thing that made me the most hated person in America right now is exactly what made thousands of people turn around and be like, you're the fucking best thing that ever happened or whatever, right? And so I don't know. Now it sounds like I'm bragging about myself. I was trying to get to a point there. But
well, no, I mean I think the point is that all these people that you've helped, right? Would you have ever been able to do that if you had cucked? If you hadn't? Because if you cucked, you would improve yourself.
All I would have done is continued giving them excuses to be failures, which is what most of the libertarian movement is these days. It's just It's just you know what? The reason I'm broke is because the state is unjust and the economy is unjust. And if there was just a free market, I'd manage to make money. But I hate paying taxes, so I'm going to drain the beast by being a food stamp recipient. Is what a lot of these people are into it for.
Right.
And it's just I'm gonna be the lowest goddamn common denominator because the people who are getting ahead in this world are the people who are being enriched by the stupid asshole excuses that people make, right? And so, I'm so glad that I didn't do that, and I don't care, if everybody in the world hates me. One of the things that a lot of people have done when they write me, they try to encourage me to go to God or whatever, and I would love to do that. I said to somebody the other day, I'm like, I feel compelled to do what I perceive to be the right and honest thing or whatever. I feel as though I'm being acted on by an outside force. And I would love to impute supernatural forces into this and start saying, how good would I be? I'm a talker, right? How good would I be as a fire and brimstone preacher or whatever? God commands it. That's why you have to go and fight the race war.
Well, something that just occurred to me, and, you going through all this, and I'm surprised at some of the people that have come out and stood up for you. I don't remember the one guy's name, but I guess he led a Facebook campaign against you a few years ago to have 1,000 libertarians delete you from their friends list. And one of the other guys from Free Talk Live, I think it was Mark. What's his name? Mark Dean? Am I thinking of the right guy?
Mark Edge is the Free Talk Live cause, yeah.
I guess he doesn't like you very much either, and even he is saying that what's happened to you, and them putting you into prison, it's wrong. And you have these libertarians willing to take a stand for you, but you have a lot of these alt-like guys who you've spoken with in the past and won't even mention it, won't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. We got our let's burn this fucking 3x5 card of allowable opinion, but we can't mention Cantwell or racism or white nationalism or anything like that. It's
right.
I think people are getting fucking sick of that.
Mark, and I'll tell you what, Mark and I actually get along pretty good. It's just that he wants to protect what he has, right? So I should say I haven't spent time personally with Mark since I was fired from Free Talk Live. So maybe his personal opinions have changed about me since I've become a raging, prominent white nationalist, right? But prior to that, even when Mark was sort of sketchy about me personally because of my talk, some of my libertarian rhetoric, shall we say, privately and in person, we got along, even if he was edgy about having me on Free Talk Live or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so when they fired me from Free Talk Live, I haven't spent a great deal of time with Mark personally, but we always did get along, and he was basically concerned that you have a guy start talking about racist stuff, and Media Matters comes after you, and you start losing, broadcast affiliates, which is his bread and butter, right? So
right.
he doesn't want, he needs to be able to feed his family or whatever. And the thing is, like, I'm really, like, the things that caused me to get irritated with Free Talk Live was that they continued their cognitive dissonance off the air, right? Like, when they fired me from broadcast radio, I'm like, fine, go ahead, protect your goddamn contracts or whatever. That's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But, like, stop acting like there's no such thing as differences between racial groups, and stop running these stupid circular logic things with me that, like, it isn't real, and if it's real, it doesn't matter, and if it doesn't matter, then it, then we have to fire you, right? It's just stupid nonsense. And I'm like, if you do it on the air, go ahead. Protect yourself from the Jews. I'm fine with that. Don't do it off the air with me. I get irritated with them. But, we always get along. You said somebody else tried to get 1,000 libertarians to delete me. We're not talking about Antonio Bueller, is it?
That sounds, it was from a few years ago, but yeah, that might be who it was. And he's not trying to do that now. What I'm saying is that even this person who had done that in the past to you has kind of taken your side on this. So there
a lot of libertarians have, for those of you who are tuning in, recently and haven't been following around for years, I made a lot of chaos in the libertarian movement. I ran for Congress in 2010. Everybody knows who I am in libertarian circles, whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking of when you say trying to get 1,000 libertarians to delete me, it sounds like Antonio Bueller, because he said that he's the head of the Peaceful Streets Project, which is a nice way of saying they're going to go run around and shove cops in cameras' faces until they get their asses kicked and then try to make the cops look bad. He tried to make all of it, our mutual Facebook friends, unfriend me because he said I was a racist before I ever said anything about race. And so, oh boy, did that guy turn out to be more right than I knew, huh? I've thought that's so funny, right? But like all these people, like for years, libertarians called me a racist, and I was like, I've literally never mentioned race one time. What the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, wait a second, I am a racist. I felt so betrayed by all the people who told me I wasn't.
So it was Antonio Bueller, and the other guy I was thinking about wasn't Mark, it was Michael Dean.
Yeah. Okay. Michael Dean. I hesitate to even give this guy any mention because he's tried to fame whore off of me so bad. But okay, fine. If he's going to come to my defense, I can mention him. The freedom themes that nobody podcasted.
Yeah. I remember them now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like he's literally like dying. He has some kind of lung disease to the point that like when he goes to do his stupid nobody show now, or at least last I checked, he couldn't stay on the show for very long. He would have to use text to speech at some point. I'm like, yeah, that's not how talk radio works, bro.
No.
Nobody gives a shit about your words. You have to have good verbal talents. If you're using text to speech, nobody cares about your wit.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be a writer, loser. And so that guy was obsessed with me, and he was always trying to like destroy me. And he would spend inordinate amounts of time on his stupid show trying to like pick apart what I said. Like it became the Christopher Cantwell pick apart hour or something. And I have heard that he's like, yeah, Cantwell did nothing wrong or whatever.
Yeah, yep. He took your side, and
1 minute remaining.
It's surprising to see that people that have had like I don't know if I call them like genuine beefs, but they've had problems with you in the past, and they have enough integrity to be like, yeah, what's happening to Cantwell is wrong. But people that ostensibly had the courage to talk about race realism like Molyneux or even your Woods to some degree. He doesn't really get fully into it, but they can't even be bothered to mention it. It lets you know where these people's fucking motives really lie, Yeah,
it's a really sad day when the social justice warriors prove to have more integrity than people who are, shall we say, right of center.
Right.
Let me give you a call back. We'll do one more, all right?
Okay.
I was hoping the other day. So when I get back from court, I was still like too distracted to read. So I've been listening to my little AM/FM radio, and I was flying on Maxwell House and dancing to Hot 101.9 Charlottesville, and thinking to myself, like, how funny it is that me saying that was going to lead to liberal boycotts of pop music and instant coffee. And I was dancing up and down the cell block, right, on these same 13 steps or whatever. And I'm like, I hope that at a because I told you the COs, they listen to the show too, right? And so the corrections officers, for those of you who don't know what that means. And I'm thinking to myself, there's a camera on the cell block, and there's a DVR, they record or whatever. And I was thinking to myself, how funny would it be if one of the CEOs goes and leaks the video and I become the dancing Nazi? In my stupid black and white striped jumpsuit, my orange fucking shoes, dancing like a stupid white retard. It'd be so fantastic. And they could do it too, because especially now that I've announced what channel I'm listening to much of the time. I've got 20 presets, but the Hot 1019 is one of the more popular pop song channels or whatever. They do have I listen to degenerate pop music daily, Storm, a fan. Sorry to tell you.
Chris is in there listening to Jews on the radio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, Negro, tell me how to love a woman, And so I'm dancing back and forth, and now that they know what it is, they could probably match it up, right? And so you could actually have a music video of the dancing Nazi. And I actually told one guard this. I was like, you should go and do that, and then put it on YouTube. And with the AdSense, with the ad shekel revenue that comes in, you could retire.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, back to Wikipedia.
So, part of the broader alt-right movement, Cantwell attained notoriety during and immediately after his participation in the Unite the Right rally. He grew up in Stony Brook, New York, and in 2012 moved to Keene, New Hampshire. He attended Ward Melville High School and acquired a lengthy criminal record in New York that includes DWI, weapons, and stolen property convictions. Broadcasting and writing. Cantwell began as a men's rights activist and has contributed to the A Voice for Men website.
Wait a second. Cantwell began as a men's rights activist?
That's what it says.
In broadcasting?
No, it doesn't say. It says Cantwell. Yeah. Under broadcasting and writing, it says Cantwell began as a men's rights activist and contributed to A Voice for Men.
That's not accurate. I mean, I've been. It's accurate that I was a contributor to A Voice for Men, but that's not where I began. I don't know what lazy asshole put this thing together. It's a communist who's trying to paint men's rights activists as racist, is what it is. I began in 2009 after I got my second DWI, and I was facing 4.5 years in prison for being 1 point over the legal limit. Well, I was out on a date with an illegal immigrant, no less, by the way.
This was Amanda Marcotte at Salon who wrote this. She actually has a whole article that the title of it is...
shockingly enough, it's Salon wrote my Wikipedia page, and it's inaccurate. Who would ever believe that?
Big surprise.
For those of you who care about honesty in reporting, I started with the Libertarians back in I got involved with the Tea Party and the Libertarians in 2009, and I started in... I post on social media or whatever, but I created, and I started making YouTube rants. Probably in 2010, I ran for Congress, and I was doing YouTube stuff after that. And I registered my own domain at ChristopherCantwell.com. I've registered in, I guess it was 2013 when I launched ChristopherCantwell.com. But I've been doing YouTube for a couple of years before that, and I started doing Some Garbage podcast with Eddie in New York in 2013 as well. And that was just, it's Eddie was still in Ron Paul mode, and I was in, anarcho-capitalist mode, and I just wanted to explain how voting was violence or whatever nonsense like that. That's how I started. And then I got involved in actual broadcast. When I was on broadcast, my only time on broadcast radio was with Free Talk Live, which was decidedly not a men's rights publication. They're a cucky libertarian outfit. So, sorry, Salon Tyke, you shouldn't be writing Wikipedia pages because, you're spreading inaccurate information, but that's basically why you exist, isn't you, Jew bitch? Go ahead.
Well, she wrote the article, which is wrong. I think we have yet another person who is wrong on the Wikipedia page, and those errors will become even more obvious as we go through this paragraph. So, in 2014, he wrote for copblock.org, a police-critical organization. In the same year, he was presented as one of 3 difference makers for fighting for their constitutional right to be total shit-stains on the Colbert Report, which documented the Free Keene Squad harassing meter maids. He also co-hosted the anarcho-capitalist radio show Free Talk Live, but was suspended in May 2015, in his words, for calling a social justice warrior a nigger on Twitter. And after a reinstatement, again in September 2015, also on accusations of racism. And then here's where things kind of break down in this paragraph. So, meanwhile, in December 2013, 2013 is apparently the same as 2014.
God damn, time flies when you're hating communists.
I don't even know if it was 15 minutes there. I think it just stopped. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Maybe something else happened. I don't know.
No. Anyway, meanwhile, in December 2013, Cantwell started what he called Some Garbage Podcast, disseminated through YouTube and elsewhere, and in April 2015 renamed it Radical Agenda, a show about common sense extremism. In 2017, he deleted most of the episodes from YouTube after receiving warnings about community standards violations. He increasingly moved from libertarian anarchists to white supremacist ideas, to the point that in 2017 he introduced a weekly What Would Hitler Do segment by Hadding, a frequent caller to the show who also runs a Holocaust-denying site called National Socialist Worldview. What he described as his sorry excuse for a studio in Keene, New Hampshire, included a Donald Trump God Emperor poster, a Don't Tread on Me flag, a sign saying White Lives Matter, as well as multiple guns lying on his desk. And I just want to say, whoever wrote this Wikipedia article, and particularly this paragraph, you fucking suck at writing and you should stop doing it immediately. You're bad at it. Find a different job. You want to comment on any of that before we move on to the next paragraph?
No. Continue, please.
So, ideology. Cantwell has self-identified as a member of the alt-right. The Anti-Defamation League includes Cantwell in its list of people on the alt-right. The Southern Poverty Law Center has a profile of Cantwell where it says that he advocates white nationalism with a libertarian spin. And if I fuck this up at all, I'm sorry. There are so many fucking unnecessary commas in this writing. It's ridiculous. Cantwell is identified as a libertarian. By his own account, he was originally radicalized in 2009 after listening to a presentation by former Libertarian presidential candidate Michael Badnarik.
Oh, he must hate me right now.
He announced as a Libertarian Party candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives from New York's 1st District in 2009, but failed to collect enough signatures to get on the ballot. In 2013, police accountability activist Antonio Buehler confronted Cantwell over rape jokes and his increasingly racist and sexist rhetoric, thus beginning a long social media war between the two. Buehler launched a campaign to get notable libertarians to formally reject Christopher Cantwell's ideas and influence on the liberty movement that Cantwell was trying to make his name off of. This is really so fucking bad. He called out Tom
Well, you know what? I'm trying to think, right now I'm saying to myself, I said earlier, I wonder if I need to correct myself that I never said anything about race. Because people were certainly accusing me of racism for without talking about race, but I'm wondering if this person is... I don't know, whatever. Go ahead.
Well, 2013, you could have easily just been talking about race realism that you were repeating off
But
Molyneux.
you know what? Here's what it got Antonio Buehler to come after me was Trayvon Martin. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Trayvon Martin and there's a piece on ChristopherCantwell.com. There's a piece titled "Trayvon Martin's Mother is a Worthless Sack of Shit." And I literally do not mention the color of this little garbage skin at all. But I say, your little vermin descendant was supposed to be put into the dirt because he was attacking the neighborhood watchman, And for that, I was definitely accused of racism. And I was like, look, Antonio, why don't we, debate this? And if I win the debate, then you should say nigger on my YouTube channel 10 times or something like that. I don't know. Continue with the story. Go ahead.
He called out Tom Woods, Adam Kokesh, Jordan Page, and others. Cantwell responded by launching a fake website under Buehler's name and produced numerous racist memes directed at Buehler. when Buehler finally
AntonioBuehler.org is my favorite website. Everybody should go visit it and click on the ads.
When Buehler finally tired of the war, Cantwell identified other libertarian social justice warriors to go after, particularly Kathy Reisenwitz. The conflict between Buehler and Cantwell ultimately reignited a discussion of thin versus thick libertarianism. In 2013, Cantwell was expelled from the Libertarian Free State Project for promoting violence against the government. Cantwell is an admirer of right-wing anarchist philosopher Hans Hermann Hoppe, who wrote, "There can be no tolerance toward Democrats and communists in a libertarian social order. They will have to be physically separated and removed from society." This is the basis for Cantwell's frequent reference to physical removal, often made specific as helicopter rides in the manner of Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet, who had leftist opponents thrown out of helicopters over the sea. Although he endorsed Donald Trump for president in January 2006, he said that Trump was not up to his standards because he wanted a president who was, in Cantwell's own words, a lot more racist than Donald Trump and does not give his daughter to a Jew. The latter comment referred to Trump's daughter Ivanka's marriage to Jared Kushner. Scholars Lisa Guenther and Abigail Levin explained that the comment posited that women are the property of men and also denied Kushner's whiteness on the basis of his being a Jew. Cantwell has also expressed admiration for political commentator Tucker Carlson, who, Cantwell says, is basically telling white America to prepare for war as directly as he can get away with it while remaining on Fox News. I couldn't agree with him more. And if he tells me to pick up a gun, I'm doing it.
Oh, my God, this is the greatest thing ever. I can't believe I haven't read this. Go ahead, continue, sorry.
So this is the last paragraph, and it's the Unite the Right rally. Cantwell participated in the Unite the Right rally held in Charlottesville, Virginia on August 11th and 12th, 2017. He was featured by Vice News in a video about the rally, where he said, "I'm carrying a pistol. I go to the gym all the time. I'm trying to make myself more capable of violence." He then follows up with, "We are not the aggressors, but we're not nonviolent. We'll expletive kill these people if we have to." On August 16th, 2017, Facebook said that it had shut down Cantwell's Facebook and Instagram profiles due to statements he made in connection with the rally. On August 17th, it was reported that Cantwell had been banned from online dating service OkCupid after a woman reported receiving a message from him after watching his Vice News video.
When asked by the New York Times for comment, he said, "These kikes will stop at nothing."
It does not say that here, but that is an accurate quote. Can confirm.
Somebody make sure to add that edit to that thing, and every time they delete it, put it back. Continue, go ahead.
A video of Cantwell choking back tears and weeping after hearing that an arrest warrant for him was published on August 16th, 2017. This earned him the nickname of the Crying Nazi. On August 17th, 2017, Cantwell wrote on his blog that he was preparing to turn himself in to the University of Virginia Police. He also said that PayPal had blocked him from withdrawing money for 6 months and that he had removed it as a payment method. Additionally, he said that he had been completely banned from YouTube and that Blueberry, the podcast service he used, had canceled his account so his podcasts were no longer available. In another blog post, he wrote that Venmo, Dwala, and Stripe had also disabled his accounts, as had Twitter, MailChimp, Match.com, and Twitter. On August 24th, Cantwell turned himself into police and was transported to Charlottesville, where he was wanted on felony assault charges stemming from the August 11th Torchlit March. Excuse me. On August 31st, 2017, Cantwell was denied bond by a Virginia court, and that's where it ends. We haven't got the updates yet from the this week's events.
Yeah, somebody needs to update that with, ever since being locked up, Cantwell has been doing live from the SIG, recorded live from the Albemarle Charlottesville Regional Jail.
Oh, man, maybe I'll even get my own.
They're irresponsible for not publicizing this damn podcast on that goddamn page.
Yeah, no, and they'll stop at nothing. We got to get that in there, and hey, maybe I'll even get my own Wikipedia page off this.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have another profile for a man who I'm happy to report lacks an inmate number, Mr. Jared Howe, going to be with you today.
Yeah. No, this is a pretty funny article. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's not like you're going to get out of here and go disavow this article, right? You're just going to double down on it, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. This is, and these people are going to keep on trying to jam me up, and all they're going to do is keep on putting money in my pocket. And I can't thank you enough, ladies and gentlemen. The 1433 Justice Fund is how you put money in my pocket, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, up your shekels there. Patreon, of course, and the ChristopherCantwell.com/donate. I do love those bitcoins. Not sure what's going to happen with all that blockchain forking, but hopefully it makes me even more money. So I'm looking forward to finding out. Hey, can you tell me before we wrap this thing up, what's Bitcoin at?
Bitcoin was at like fucking $7,500, but it had a crash today and it's down to $6,300.
God damn it! see, these people, these bastards. I shouldn't call them people. They're cunts. I'm furious now because that costed me some money. I could have sold that. But no, I don't want to sell it. I got to deal with we'll see what happens with the blockchain.
Yeah,
I'm not going to discuss my finances with you bastards.
You're probably still up from when you got the Bitcoin, so you haven't lost any money yet. But yeah, you missed out on an opportunity to do some short selling and some day trading that you definitely could have capitalized on.
I think it'll go back up anyway. I mean, this is what always happens. It tanks a little bit, and then people are like, oh my God, buying opportunity.
Exactly.
Something else will happen. It'll go all over the place, and then hopefully, whatever. I think maybe the Bitcoin, because now maybe I'll use the Bitcoin to buy an RV. I think maybe I'm going to do like a tour or something.
There you go.
Buy an RV, and here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking of. We'll run out the call. I'm thinking that. Before I came in here, folks, I said, Cantwell says lay low. I really don't, I was kind of pissed at people who counter-signaled Tennessee or whatever. But, I think that we're not in a position to be doing rallies or whatever because nobody knows each other. Nobody knows there's no trust between us, okay? And so I'm thinking that what people need to do is start forming what the communists call affinity groups, okay? Like have a couple of your friends who are local, start meeting people on an individual basis and add them to whether it's a Telegram group or something. Get a little messenger app that's encrypted that's, between your group and figure out how you guys can all organize socially and not have a bunch of communists show up and try to kill you when you put something together.
TRS calls these pool parties. Right.
Yeah, pool parties. That's the idea, right? And start doing that, in a I don't know how much pool parties are just celebratory things and how much these are, organizing for purposes, but building camaraderie in any case, right?
Right.
And start doing that, and then maybe once I have this whole thing wrapped up, because if I get out of here on bond, there's going to be conditions or whatever. Hopefully these people were smart enough not to tell me that I have to stay in Virginia because that would not be good for me or for Virginia.
I hope that they don't tell you that you have to be disarmed.
But because there's a bunch of people who want to kill me here, I'd much rather go back to New Hampshire and be quiet. But after this whole thing is wrapped up, I would love nothing more than to get in an RV and go state to state and come around, talk to you guys, and hang out and stuff like that. Once you can show me that you can establish secure comms, right? Because now I got to be careful, right? When I came down to Charlottesville, I came down here completely all by myself. And I was like, I'll put this up behind my paywall on the website so we can go all meet. And I almost, all the shit that happened to me, right? So I got to be very careful about who I meet and how and, when and how I'm by myself and what my protections are. But, if you guys can develop groups and secure communications and develop some, manner of, confidence, then I'll come down, meet with your group or whatever like that. We'll start putting things together so that, so that we're better put together for the next time it's happening. Because this is what happened. Unite the Right had the potential to be really good, folks. But we were too disorganized. You know what I'm saying? And nobody knew who anybody was, and they came in there and they smashed us against the rocks. And I don't know all the details, but from what little I hear about the movement, it's in sorry shape right now. We're gonna fix that. After Unite the Right, one of the goals was that we were all gonna shake hands and get to know each other or whatever. Well, we should have done that in a more careful and refined fashion, I think. And that is something that we can absolutely still do. As long as we're careful about it. I cannot overstate how much I'm looking forward to getting out of here and meeting up with you and really making our rivals really concerned about what's happening. Because, like I said before, not afraid that we're going to come beat them up or whatever stupid asshole thing the hikes are going to try to impute there, but literally. We're going to become a political powerhouse, like Gabe Gutierrez, an NBC piece of shit who I had the interview with on the one of the last episodes of Radical Agenda. He's like, what would you say to people who believe that America's going in a very dark direction if your people gain power? And I was like, America's already in a very dark direction, and we are going to steer it back or something to that effect. So,
dude, the way you ended...
33 Justice Fund, help me bring the fight to our enemies, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you haven't heard that Gabe Gutierrez interview, go listen to it because it's one of the funniest pieces of content Chris has ever done. It's so fucking good.
That whole thing, me shit posting with the mainstream media was hilarious, and I can't wait to do more of it. Speaking of which, mainstream media, get in touch with Jared, or Jared, go seek out. I want mainstream media contacts. I want phone numbers for people at the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, etc. like this. You guys keep on calling my attorney. I'm happy to speak with you. Okay, don't call Elmer. He's not going to do that. I will talk to the mainstream media. I'll be more than happy to do it. Just get your number to Jared. He'll give it to me. And as long as I don't have to dial an extension, you just have to hit 5 to take my call. And if you can do that, I'll talk to you. I'll give you a buzz tomorrow, buddy. Okay?
Sounds good, man.
All right, take care, pal.
You too. Bye.
I'm fucking furious. I'm violently angry.